All right, let's dive in. Summer Game Fest kick off the first big live event with new gaming news and reveal, kind of like the first thing for E3 and all the things coming throughout June, hosted and conducted by Uncle Jeff Keighley, of course, and it was interesting. There's a couple of big things to talk about, but overall the event, I think, for me personally, was a little bit of a disappointment. I mean, at least sort of. I kind of set expectations a little bit in a couple of videos back. I said that we haven't really seen the results of the pandemic kind of slowing down some game development, and I think that was a result here, where there's a lot of stuff. I have a massive list of notes, but it's all just new content, new expansions, updates on things that we've already seen. Not a ton of like groundbreaking new big video game announcements. So that's where a lot of people are taking issue with this event, myself included. I found it a little like kind of advertising heavy. I understand people got to make money. I'm glad that this production is giving people jobs, but at the same time, not quite what we've expected, especially considering I think Jeff Keighley and his production company and everybody has done really well in the past, kind of breaking away from like the old video game awards being kind of corny. Like they've kind of gotten better at it. This was pretty middling, but with a couple of good things. Obviously, I think you're here because you probably want to talk with me about just a couple of them. The first thing I really kind of enjoyed in a weird way was that quick little Hideo Kojima candid interview. I know it wasn't much, and I know it's pretty much just Jeff pulling the I know Hideo Kojima card and getting him to just come talk about nothing, but there were little tiny moments in that super brief interview I found really candid. I liked hearing Hideo Kojima like talk about 9/11 and just the creative process and stuff like that. I'm also super biased because I love you. I love you. I'm like talking to, because I'm like a fucking crazy person. I have a picture on my wall. I like that, but of course he was there to surprise us and reveal something. One more thing. Death Stranding. Of course, as the tease built, it was that typical weird Hideo subversive type stuff that we've seen him tease back from the early days of Metal Gear Solid 2, and then some of the marketing specifically I remember for Metal Gear Solid 4. They did a lot of stuff like this with weird trailers that looked like it was hinting towards something Metal Gear Solid. So of course, I was freaking out. I took out my phone and I started filming myself just in case I was able to react to some crazy groundbreaking news, because it was teasing a Metal Gear reference, or maybe like Kojima Productions announcing that they got the rights to Metal Gear, which would never happen in a million years. Or maybe it would. I don't know. But still, didn't really tease anything other than a cardboard box and a goof that ultimately led to Death Stranding Director's Cut, a PS5 version of the game, seemingly with different stuff. Director's Cut, to me, is weird because he was able to do whatever he wanted with that game, so I don't think anything was really cut. Or maybe they just finished stuff that they didn't get to finishing or fleshing out before release. Maybe they're adding some new things. If they expand upon some of like the looser elements of that game and fill out some things, I think it could make the game much stronger and be way cooler. I already obviously really like Death Stranding, but yeah. Also, like, it's just like me and like my friend Jimmy, and like that's about it. Really excited about Jurassic World Evolution 2. I thought the original Jurassic World Evolution and the DLC extremely underrated, so I'm excited to see a new one, even if it might just kind of go more into being a movie tie-in type thing. I don't know, but it's listed for 2021. I think it's cool to see the dinosaurs in like a different type of landscape, a different setting, maybe almost like a Pacific Northwest setting. That seems like that could be kind of cool. Anyway, that's an underrated type of game. I just wanted to point that out. Also, it was really funny to see Jeff Goldblum and a bunch of celebrities, honestly, really, that didn't really care. But Jeff Goldblum, like, is the only person that could go up there and barely care about what he's reading on a teleprompter and make fun of the host and creator's name. It's very him. Also, Weezer performed and it was kind of whack, but they did show off Wave Break, which is cool. That's an indie game I've had my eye on for a while because it combines a lot of elements I like Tony Hawk and shooting and just weird, dumb stuff, combos, I don't know. But also, one thing I really kind of like to see is that cool indie game. They highlighted a lot, but the one specifically for me was Planet of Lana, which looks really cool. It's an indie, it's for Xbox and PC in 2022, and it's got this hand-painted art style, and Love to see it. Sometimes, honestly, with indie games, I'm totally guilty of just seeing good visuals or art direction and I go, oh, cool, I'm going to play that. Obviously, the gameplay is going to matter, but just the vibe and atmosphere, I'm into. What surprised me is the Evil Dead gameplay. Also, Bruce Campbell narrating the whole thing was really great. I love him so much. But the gameplay we got to see from this game was actually pretty awesome. Now, I will say that the arrangement of the game, the setup of the game looks very much Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, which Friday the 13th I did really like, but it's just that type of thing. They're clearly making one of those types of games. Not necessarily for me, but visually and some of the combat that we got to see, I really liked. And I didn't expect it to look that awesome, but like Ash and company, specifically Ash, had some really cool moves. That shit looked really awesome, for lack of a better phrase. Is it something I'm probably going to bounce off pretty quickly? Yeah, but it's really nice to see Evil Dead well represented. I would still like kind of like a return to the old Evil Dead games, but hey, I'm also a dinosaur now. Anyway, the biggest thing, and I think the thing that really kind of saved the event for a lot of people, I honestly do think that Jeff and company, I commend them for breaking out and trying to make a new thing kind of separate from E3, getting away from the organization behind E3 and doing their own thing. I think it still has a lot of potential. I'm still betting on it, but I think next year will be the year that they might be able to have more. I think they should have waited a year. Still, the biggest thing they got, and it was really impressive, Elden Ring. Finally, after so long, everybody's been hyping this game up to high heaven. I think, honestly, some people who were never on board with any FromSoft games are also just kind of getting into it, and they like tweeting and Instagramming about it. Guess what? It looks like a FromSoft game. That's not I'm not saying that as a bad thing at all. I think some people are. Some people are like, this is all they do? Come on. And yes, that's why people like it. What the interesting thing about them is how they tweak the formula throughout. Sekiro was massively different. Bloodborne is massively different. Each Dark Souls game, 1, 2, 3, etc., are massively different if you pay attention and understand the formula. Now, me personally, I'm not overhyped crazy about Elden Ring, which I think is insane for me to admit on the internet. Please don't kill me. The From Software games, I like them. I'm just not crazy about them. They're not the thing I immediately go towards. This is not totally my type of thing. That being said, I always end up playing all of them, and once I get into them and once they kind of click, which usually takes a long time for me, once they click, I do really enjoy them. So I do see myself jumping into this one and having fun, especially because I'd love to see how they can kind of shake up the open world thing. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be like a Ubisoft open world game or anything like that, but it is clearly open world. They've confirmed it. There's horse traversal. We got glimpses of a lot of weird emergent stuff, possibly. I think the biggest thing that I'm betting on with Elden Ring, honestly, though, is obviously besides the art style, environment design, enemy design, which looks stunning. It looks peak From Software. It looks like it's the best it's ever been, and I'm really looking forward to getting crushed in the game and not being able to see or encounter half of those enemies because I suck. But also the fact that I think for this one, character builds, just judging from the little glimpses and the little things I've been able to get from their official website, seem like it's really going to be a game changer. We've seen a ton of different weapon types, move sets, abilities already. That wow, when you see the other cooperative players jump in, just the amount of different things going on is really impressive, especially considering how tight and very specific and the way these games are deliberately designed to introduce that many different things going on at once to that formula and an open world. I can't wait to see how it all pans out, man. I'm also looking forward to more storytelling elements. I honestly believe even with George R.R. Martin, George Railroad Martin himself being involved, I think it's still very much a Miyazaki joint. I expect the story to still be told that way. It's going to be vague, it's going to be rough to parse, but there might be some magic in there. So again, not my biggest cup of tea, so to speak. I enjoy the games. I'm not losing my mind over this, but I just want to point out I am so excited to see everybody else be excited about this. Just at work all day, and I'm looking Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, even the hellhole it is, just to see everybody kind of pumped for something and it's not the end of the world is just refreshing. And if you're not on that team, I can consider sitting back and just looking at other people being happy. It's really nice. Am I getting weird? I'm sorry. I'm probably getting weird. Anyway, that was the first E3 thing, the Summer Game Fest kickoff. There's a lot more to go down. Xbox and Bethesda dropping soon. Ubisoft has an event. Square Enix has an event. I believe Warner Brothers is going to show some stuff. And then there's Nintendo, of course. So we still have a lot to talk about. And Ratchet and Clank. Holy shit. So the biggest thing, I want to hear from you guys in the comments what you thought about the stuff revealed. Summer Game Fest, give it a grade. I gave it probably like a C+. I don't know. But the couple of good things we got are juicy. Elden Ring seems cool. Evil Dead seems cool. So let me know what you think and let me know what your expectations are for E3 and things moving forward. I put out expectations. I put out a bunch of videos, but like now the stuff's going down. So hopefully I've kept you informed. I'm just talking about what I love here. So if you appreciate that, clicking the like button does help me. I legit appreciate that. Thank you for being here. You could have clicked on anybody else to talk about this stuff, but you chose to click on me. So for real, thank you. But I'm Jake Baldino. Thanks for watching. Subscribe because video games and pizza's on me.